The 10th Parliament will be on recess starting next week for the festive season.
But we haven't gotten a response.
But there are a number of bills that have not been presented before Parliament. It's only the Leadership Code Amendment Bill that has been presented by government in the first 6 months of its existence. Although the parliamentary system of government allows any legislator who is not in cabinet to introduce a private member's bill, the rules of procedure largely place the responsibility on government.
So, I think it's done.
It is this state of affairs that has apparently prompted the Deputy Speaker of Parliament to note that the House performed below expectation. Jacob Oulanyah was, however, quick to add that some bills were presented to the parliamentary committees towards the end of the year.
But there's been a kind of shortage of business, but that has been corrected because a lot of bills now has been brought back and the committees are now picking out the issue to see that when we come back, they'll have lots of reports and bills ready for discussion, and then we move on with what we already have. There's been a shortage of business.
The Deputy Speaker also revealed that business was slow because the 10th Parliament was going through a transition from the 9th Parliament.
And of course, a transition parliament, like a transition year of a new parliament like this, always has challenges. It's not a parliament that is continuing with the business that it already has.
Oulanyah has also warned MPs against spending a lot of time discussing politics, but instead focus on debating issues that affect the well-being of the ordinary Ugandans.
We must be discussing all those things that affect the ordinary person, the life of that ordinary person. We should be able to make provision on things that can improve on their lives. Politics does not put food on anybody's table.
The Omoro County MP, who is currently in Nairobi, attending the Africa, Caribbean, Pacific and European Union Assembly, also called for the amendment of the Political Parties and Organizations Act of 2005 to ensure that political parties are sufficiently funded by the government. That proposed amendment has been a clarion call of opposition politicians for many years now.
Maybe it's time we interrogate whether it's not being properly implemented, the reasons why it is not being implemented, and if the amendment required that can energize the provision of the law, then that would be the way forward.
Oulanyah says he is also against political parties drawing funds directly from foreign powers, as advocated for by the European Union.
Let those political parties be independent. Let those political parties have sources of funds that are traceable. Let them carry out activities that are transparent. But sovereign countries financing political parties in another sovereign country, that is interference.
According to the Political Parties and Other Organizations Act of 2005, only political parties with representation in Parliament are entitled to funding from government. Last year, the government released 10 billion shillings for those parties, with the ruling NRM taking the largest share of 8.2 billion shillings. Habad Zua, NTV, Nairobi, Kenya.